Lesde kawadhi nyime nyako Ramogi manakane wasingo wadhi achiel kachiel nyaka e piny mar Ethiopia boma ma Addis Ababa kama bende wadwani mondo mi watude achiel kachiel koda ripota marwa Seth Olale ma bende koro nitiere kanyo ne ikruok mogik ne yiero mar AUC matimore odiochieng' makiny. Seth oimore kapo ni nyalo winjo wat nyama leronwa ni to tielo mogik chalo nade, ikruok osebedo machalo nade, maling'ling wachango jo Kenya nitiere koda geno malich miwuoro ni odiochieng' makiny loch nyalo bedo mar Raila Odinga. Inyalo mana nyisowa ni to piny wacho nang'o Seth?
Loch nalo bedo ma ngat mora simpros nikech remember that in this particular race there is Raila Odinga from Kenya. There is also the Madagascar candidate Rato Richard, who just yesterday received the backing of the South Africa Development Community. That is 16 countries in that particular basket. It does not mean, however, that all of them will vote for him. Also, in this particular race, the Djibouti candidate, that is Mohamed Yusuf Ali, all of them in the country just hours before the presidents, 35 presidents, 8 prime ministers, and 6 representatives of the various presidents make their way inside this particular hall. The hall is called the Nelson Mandela Plenary. This is where the action will be known. Hopefully, at this particular time tomorrow, we should have known who succeeds Musa Faki, the outgoing Africa Union Commission chairman, and who will also take up the deputy chairperson slot. All these up for grabs. Simpros, you mentioned about what has been ongoing here at the AUC. Today, there has been serious and intense lobbying and consultation. This has been done in 2 fronts. Front 1, led by the President of the Republic of Kenya, Dr. Samuel Ruto, who met a number of presidents, including the president from Senegal, Cote d'Ivoire, and I'm also told Equatorial Guinea, all these heads of states, also including the host president of Ethiopia, where we are right now, Abiy. This has been an initiative meant to consolidate votes for Kenya's candidate Raila Odinga. Remember that in the tradition of the AUC elections, the last minute count, anything can happen, no stones are left unturned, and nothing is left to chance. And those are the words according to the Foreign Affairs Principal Secretary, that is Dr. Sing'oei Korir, who did also raise concerns about a letter by the Secretary General of the South African Development Community urging its 16 members to support the Madagascar candidate Richard Rato. But according to Sing'oei, it will not alter much, but they are also reaching out to SADC to try and establish, what are the implications and what was the motive behind this letter just less than 4 days to the polls that will be happening here tomorrow at this particular plenary. I mentioned that today consultations and strategic meetings are being held from 2 fronts, one by President Ruto here at the headquarters of AU. The other one was by the Raila Odinga Secretariat, led by the likes of Ambassador Elkanah Odembo. Talk about Professor Makau Mutua, talk about the likes of Pauline Njoroge, and the list goes on, and Dr. Nancy Karugu is also the former Nyeri governor. All these were held up in a last minute strategic plan to execute, to make sure that some of those perceived swing votes, members from those particular states, are reached out to just before they get here tomorrow for that closed door session that will include the election of the AUC chair and the deputy. But apart from that, they are also making sure that the plan is executed. Remember that Raila Amolo Odinga has been to over 30 Africa capitals, or rather destinations, according to the Secretariat, they have done what they could. They have exhausted all their campaign machinery, and now it's up to Raila Amolo Odinga to be elected. It can be anyone, including the Madagascar candidate, Richard Gamandrato, who all of a sudden, it appears, has emerged as also a very formidable force. So there is no prediction when it comes to the AUC election. No polls, no opinion polls are held. It will only count when the heads of states tomorrow, Saturday, enter this hall and vote the candidate who will be named there shortly after. Simpros.
Ero kamana nya Seth kapo ka wey mondi dhi penjo maduong' ma jopiny nego ni kiny gichako bede TV gi sadi kalore kodwa kiny kochopo saa 3 mar okinyi to wachako menyo boma ma Addis Ababa. Penjo en ni yiero machiel kachiel chakore sadi. Lero ni kochopo saa machal kama odiochieng' makiny wang'eyo ni en jal mane ma bende osebedo okawo kom kachiel koda jalopne. Yiero yie kata luto mbolo chakore sadi odiochieng' makiny.
Bura makindro chako chon sachiel katasario gokini. But the most important thing, Cyprus, is that the final agenda of the AUC organization here tomorrow, the very final topic or agenda will be the AUC election. So it is the last agenda on the item, meaning the election will take place from 5 p.m. because we expect that the report that will be read and endorsed and ratified by the 49 member states of the African Union who are attending tomorrow's 38th ordinary session of the heads of state here will indeed go through the reports, and also they have to endorse. Remember that also there will be AOBs, any other business and matters arising. After the conclusion of that, the final agenda tomorrow is the election of the African Union Commission chairman and the deputy. So we are expecting that this exercise will take place at least in the afternoon. It will also depend on how the president, or rather the president of the African Union, the Angolan president, the pace at which these particular report submissions will be read and endorsed and ratified by the heads of state. So talking about time, it should be past 5 p.m. tomorrow.
Erokamano nya Seth, erokamano kuom ler malong'o na geno ni wabro tudore kodi kendo odiochieng' makiny mondo mi wachwe wang' wachiel kachiel gima dhi nyime. Kaw kamano nyakwara Ramogi adwa ni mondo mi wadhi nyime ka wawuok